Hello, my name is Ben, and I want to talk to you about this excellent novel I just finished reading from the author Kazuo Ishiguro. It goes by the title Klara and the Sun. I really enjoyed this, finished it up over a couple of days, more like a week. I'm pretty sure you could power through this in like 6 to 8 hours. It's a really easy, convenient read. It's really pleasant. The topic material is essentially this. In a future world where kids are raised a little bit different, some kids get an artificial friend as a companion on their upbringing. It's got a little bit of the Gattaca feel going on to it. Essentially what people start doing is they elevate their children. They do things genetically to improve certain traits, and, well, that has some advantages and also some disadvantages. This book ultimately is about the relationships we have with each other, ourselves, and also with our possessions. It's told from the perspective of an AF. An AF is an artificial friend. These artificial friends are created to be companions to children as they grow up. They don't necessarily have the same type of social bonds that we do now. Public school is largely abandoned most places in favor of remote learning. People have tutors who will come to their house and work with them on different subjects. And then they have the AFs who serve as their companions. The AFs have names like AF Boy Steve or AF Girl Jacqueline, and our particular AF goes by Klara. It's also a story about the relationship that we all have with the sun. We enjoy a very natural relationship with the sun. We need it to survive. It creates energy for things to grow, and honestly, it gives us vitamin D, so we're not always in such a pissy mood. I mean, vitamin D is the happy drug. You got plenty of that in your brain, you're A-okay. If you don't, you might be being like, where's my coffee? Regardless, what I love about the perspective of Klara is she's very naive, transparent, especially in her relationships with her family members. Because essentially that's the premise. A family will come and purchase an AF to be a companion to their child, to supplement certain social norms that children don't get anymore. There are still like these play dates that are arranged between families where, they'll bring their kids and the kids will interact with each other, and, it's all good and well and fun. But it's kind of alluded to that there are some developmental drawbacks to the process of lifting. And thus, having an AF companion helps to supplement in that factor. So, what's really cool about the perspective of AF Klara is I love the idea that artificial intelligence is kind of childlike in a way, because Klara has a relationship with the sun that she doesn't even understand. Literally, the sun is she's a solar powered unit. The sun is nourishing her constantly. And she kind of just thinks it's this like mystical, all powerful figure that is responsible for everything. What's really, really polite and fun about it is honestly, Klara takes very, very well to being an AF and wants to do everything that she can to help her child succeed. And along those lines, her child starts to have some physical issues. Well, Klara goes and speaks with the sun, because the sun is the purveyor and the grantor of all things that are possible. And I think it's so funny because we have certain religions that are set up around the worship of the sun. So it's very, very, it's a fun little kind of comparison between how Klara is with the sun and how we ourselves are with the sun. And that's why I say this book, it's all about relationships. It's all about how we value ourselves, we value one another, and even how we value the things that we possess. How some people look at possessions as having a kind of a life to them, and you want to take care of them, and other people look at possessions as just merely disposable. Once it's served its life, get it out of here. And I think it's really interesting because you hear some amazing social commentary coming from Kazuo Ishiguro in the pages of this book. Apparently he's written 8 or 9 other books and they've been turned into movies or something. I'll have to look into it. This will probably get turned into a movie. It's fun stuff. Well, what's really cool too is like it's not like a violent book. Like this is really just it's well set. And I'll tell you what I really enjoyed about it too is it starts out in very simple terms. You're essentially building the world through the eyes of this AF who has literally probably only recently come on. So what it actually understands is growing day by day, but it's building its own kind of understanding of the world around it. You know, how it like looked like when the sun isn't out one day, she's trying to rationalize where it's gone to, and she's thinking about things like maybe the sun got mad, maybe that machine that's making all that noise over there, it made the sun mad and the sun has gone away, and oh dear, everybody's in a bad mood, can the sun come back? And it's just it's a fun book. It was a really fun book, and I'm a guy who really likes science fiction. I enjoy some action titles, but you know what, like good literature is good literature. It doesn't matter if it's got sword fights and phaser guns and alien relations, or if it's just about the relations that we have between us humans, then also with the artificial beings that we are creating to be our companions, because that's really what it is. Humans just need each other. We need to live in harmony. And I think maybe that's another idea of the book too, is like an artificial being develops its own harmony with the natural world. Instead of the trope of artificial intelligence is going to like overtake us and enslave us, in a way it's almost like it was there to be a complement to the upbringing of a child, to fill in the abscesses that this new world is not supplying it. And I think that's one of the coolest things. And if you're asking me, I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, 97 out of 100 because there was no car chase scene. No car chase scene? God darn it. Well, I guess I'll just have to go read a James Bond book. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. My name is Ben. It's been a pleasure reviewing this book. Please pick it up and enjoy it. And I look forward to what comes next from Mr. Kazuo Ishiguro. Klara and the Sun. Thank you.